Okay, now we're doing it. All right, that's right. That's right, John Galgano. It's live stream resurrected here at Casa de Terry, Casa de Postmaster General. Now, I got to find a better way to do that. Anyway, so this is the one that we're going to keep live. So yeah, back to where we were. Just to rehash, I have a man bun. The donut shop lady up the street shared that with me. She made it perfectly clear that I have a man bun, and perfectly clear to everybody else in the shop. We're not entirely sure if she was flirting, but I'm pretty sure she wasn't. So, yeah. Okay, so, wow. All right, we got an actual solid return on this. I think that we had like 22 people in the chats before, but I could be wrong. Maybe I was just dreaming. Maybe it just felt like 22 people in the chats because of all the enthusiastic commentary that was going on in there. And I'm really, really sorry that I didn't get to experience that. So if you said something witty in the chats, then say it again. Oh, yeah. And yeah, I bragged about my coffee mug. So I think we're all caught up now. Piper pooped twice, threw up once, ran me late. Turns out what the problem was is that I was not using Google Chrome as my app. It is in fact a Google Chrome extension that allows you to put the pop-up chats onto OBS the way that I do it. And because I was using Safari, which is my default browser, instead of Chrome, because I flaked, because flaking is something that I do, and I'm really, really good at it. Yeah. As usual, I would like to ask everybody to sound off in regards to the volume of me and volume of the music. Desmond Hassing, you are too kind, my friend. Pointing out that, yes, in fact, there are a lot of people that want to date a wizard. Yeah. Speaking of wizards, is everybody caught up on stuff? On Rings of Power? Are you? Are you caught up on Rings of Power? Because volume could be a tad louder. Is that for my Keith? Is that for my voice or is that for the music? Yeah, be specific, please. And I will make adjustments because I feel like the music is a little quiet. Oh, it is a little quiet. There we go. That's better. Yeah, there we go. Speaking of music, what a week for music, man. I don't know if anybody out there is into the 1975 the way that I am, but I put on their new record last night, and what's it called? I'm just going to try to find out what it's called here. It is called Being Funny in a Foreign Language, which is something to which we should all aspire, by the way, in addition to being a great album by the 1975. But it's just so good. I mean, I put it on. It was late. I'd had not one, not two, but 3 Schlafly pumpkin ales. And if you've never had a Schlafly pumpkin ale, I'm so sorry about your quality of life. Then I put on this record like, I'm going to try this thing out. And I couldn't turn it off. I couldn't turn it off. It was that good. It was that freaking good. And I listened to every single track of it all the way up to the end when Apple did its usual thing. Apple Music did its usual thing, which is to cycle into a channel that's of music that's supposed to be similar to that. And the first song that came on was Ed Sheeran. And I was like, okay, time for bed. I like Ed Sheeran. I really do. Ed, you're good. You're really, really good. Call me. Let's collaborate. I don't know what I can contribute. Anybody that watched Toy Quest 101's recent rehash of my guitar riff challenge on their challenge knows that I've got some work to do insofar as that goes. So let's get back to Epidemic Sound. And again, feel free to let me know in the chats. Oh, also, another thing in good music, and I was listening to this on the way to get donuts. I think every time I say donuts, I need to take a bite of a donut. This is a sour cream donut. I haven't had donuts in years. Last time I ate donuts was at Duck Donuts in Charlotte, North Carolina. So it's been like 2 years. Hey, dude, I'm sorry your day sucked. That's really annoying. I'm sorry, I'm distracted by the lighting on my screen. I'm like, am I dark? Oh, it's because I'm not close enough. There we go. I'm leaning back in my seat. And I feel like this is really, really high up there. Let's see if I can lower it. Oh, I can. That's exciting. Yeah. And that's over this desk too. This is all shit that I should have done before I went live. So again, sorry for my flakiness. I have no, what's the word for it? It's a thing that people with ADHD lack. Yeah. Management. Yeah, I know. Keith Lee says we have duck donuts here too, dude, and I know that. And but it's all the way out in Chesterfield, which is not very far for you. You're close. You can go to that shit all the time, man. But let's turn this up a little, right? Yeah, now I look human. Okay. It's looking like I was hanging out in the dark there for a little bit, which ain't good. But anyway, the thing that I listened to on the way to get the donuts today was Skid Row's new record. I don't know if anybody's a fan of 1980s really awesome. I know they got thrown in with all the hair rock stuff, and rightly so, because everybody was trying to ride that wave back in the late 80s. But goddamn, Skid Row is a really, really, really good band. I mean, we're talking about, you know, Virtuoso's dudes are making a comeback. It's after the thing I didn't like about 90s and about the grunge was that all the raw actual talent, the ability to play the guitars like and the instruments in general, just like you'd made it your life's work, went away, and it became more about dilettantes, people who were just like garage bands, that kind of thing. And you could make the argument that that's much more raw, but as I came from a musical background, National Piano Guild member 4 years running, yeah, I'm just excited to see that it made a comeback. I'm talking about groups like Polyphia. If you're into say Steve Vai, you got to check out Polyphia. They've been around for years, and I just found out about them because they released a single with Steve Vai called Ego Death, I think. It's great. It's great, man. This kid's dancing all over these fretboards, and this kid has the best mullet that I've seen since the one I had in the 90s. That's right, I said it. I just sent Brandy Woods a photograph of that last night. So she has evidence of me with an epic mullet. Anyway, let's clear that out there. We're not talking about donuts anymore. I cannot see through the crud on these glasses. I've really got to get caught up. I can see those chats flying by out of the corner of my eye, and I'm like, Jesus. So let me just work my way backwards. Mike Games agrees with me that Skid Row's new song is awesome. Trust me, dude, they're all awesome. I think the one I'm not a big fan of is Time Bomb. There's something about it that just didn't do it for me. I was talking earlier about Epidemic Sound and how they're a Swedish company, and they make great music for your live streams, for your videos, what have you. Learned about them from Peter McKinnon. I'm sure you all know who that guy is. But ABBA. But that kind of segued into the whole Skid Row thing, because their new singer is from Sweden, and he's the closest thing that you can come to Sebastian Bach, without actually being Sebastian Bach, who's kind of lost the edge on his voice. I think last time I heard it, I was just like, oh yeah, happens to the best of us, dude. Happens to the best of us. I'm not as good of a photographer as I used to be. It just happens when you get old. You start to lose that fire, that ability, that sharpness. All right. Wow, look at all of them. Dob's here. Hey, Dob Bear. In fact, I'm just going to go back. I'm going to scroll up and go to the beginning of the chats and find out who's here. We got Brandy Woods. Hey, Brandy Woods. We got Keith Lee. Awesome. PRP. Welcome. Hello. Good to see you there. Hope all is well for you in Florida. Fardez is here. Good to hear from you again. I think you might have missed last week as well, right? 14 Wellington in the house. We have respawn. That is correct. Were you there the first time? I assume you were. Otherwise, you wouldn't have said that. Fardez, congratulations. You get a coveted Marvel No Prize. Ask me if you don't know what that is. I'll tell you. There's a lot of people fighting over here. Was who first? What's my first rule of Fight Club? No Fight Club. That's right. The Echo Experience Part 2, Electric Boogaloo. That's right. We're going to be doing, I probably should have plugged that camera in, because we're going to be doing an unboxing. The first unboxing on this live stream with my rehashed live stream camera that went tits up in a ditch back in what was it, July or something like that, forcing me. Oh God. Okay, fine. I'll use it. Forcing me to start using my Nikon, which I'm so happy with, by the way. If you have the means, I highly recommend using one of these for let's see, Keith Lee, I slayed 4. Oh, Brandy Woods has been bragging about this for the past 24 hours, or something like that, 12 hours. Apparently, she kicked all kinds of ass in her D&D campaign last night, in which let's face it, you know, if you're the one that brought down 4 freaking bosses in one campaign night, props. Seriously. If I had a sword, I'd freaking salute you with it. I have a lightsaber around here somewhere. Actually, I did a count the other day, and I've gotten 9. But it's yeah, I totally raised my imaginary lightsaber to you. That's congratulations, kudos. I'm glad you're my friend. Like Keith Lee says, yeah, definitely. All right. Oh, Commander Green's in the house. Okay, it's time for my weekly praise of Commander Green. Actually, I don't have anything to say, new to say. Commander Green's Instagram channel is amazing. I haven't looked at it all week. I'm sorry, dude. I've been really, really busy. I put in more hours for the sideshow that I put in since Comic-Con. So they've been throwing me a lot of work, and I'm really grateful for it. It's good to have work. I'm glad that they trust me with it, and yeah, there's some good stuff coming. Yeah, I wish I could talk about it, but I can't. Speaking of which, there's a rule on this. If you're new to this chat, God, Holly West, why you gotta be like that? Now that's stuck in my head. Fortunately, I've got music playing, so we'll push it right off the screen. Yeah. All right, so. Ooh. This is actually on track, because you may have noticed that I lost my sweater between one stream and the next. So if I have to go again, I'll take off my shoes. It could be that I've already taken off my pants and you just wouldn't know it. Let's find out. Oh, sorry. Guess it's still gonna remain a secret. Oh my God, I'm goofy today. I am so goofy today. Holly West thinks that the donut girl was definitely flirting. She did give me a free donut too, and a discount. So yeah, I got a new friend and donuts. Friends and donuts. Friends and donuts. That needs to be a T-shirt, right? Man. Dog Bear says it best. Hit that like button. Yeah, drive some engagement, man. Now, if you'd like having people here, if you like having people here to chat with, then yeah, let's feed that algorithm so they bring more people here. I enjoy having people here to chat with. That's why I'm doing it. Oh, Thomas D. Yeah, very true. Universal key, something witty. This way comes, dude. I love that. I love the Captain America shield is your avatar. I have a Captain Carter shield coming. It's dope. Should be here in a week, maybe 2. Yeah, it's amazing. Leather straps. It's made of metal. I'm going to use it to guard my house from trick-or-treaters with an attitude. Oh my God, these donuts are amazing. Okay, we're back to the volume thing. Hey, look at that. Are you referring to your very own video that you did of me playing guitar? One of these days I might actually do that on the live stream, which kind of ups the degree of difficulty. When I did it on your channel, Miguel, is this Miguel or Ileana? Is it both? Because that'd be dope. I love getting 2 viewers for the price of 1. Yeah, it would be much. I would really up the degree of difficulty and the nervous factor to actually do this to actually play guitar on a live stream. So I don't know. I'll play some more. I'll practice some more. Let's say that. Oh, are you at work today? That's messed up, bro. It's Saturday. Just kidding. I've got to do work too. And I'm gonna do it off the clock too. I had a bad day yesterday. My whole body was achy. I was headachy, and so when I was clocked in, I was doing work, but I was doing it really slow. So I'm gonna make it up to my employer by giving them some freebies today and make it up to myself. It's like when you do stuff like that, people are just like, man, clock in. You're doing work. You should be getting paid for it. And you know, I feel like it's, and I'm getting this from Adam Savage, but I feel like I'm throwing some respect towards my future self, so that I can, by doing the work today, even if it is off the clock, then I'll be able to, I'll be all caught up on Monday morning. It'll be done, and I won't have to worry about that. I can move on to the next thing. Because by rights, I should have had everything done last night by the time I clocked out. Hugo Ramirez asks, are we unboxing today? I sure am. Just got delivered yesterday the Tumblr Batmobile. It is huge, bro. I had one. And it was broken. I broke it. Let's put it that way. And of course, so I couldn't sell it for anything because the things on the back broke. I was able to repair them, but they were still broken. I knew they were broken, and the buyer would have known they were broken. But I didn't have a place to put it. I just had it long enough to get some photography on it. I had it out long enough to get some photography on it. Not very good photography, just like, here's my Batmobile, here's my tumbler on a coffee table. Here's my tumbler with a Christmas Yoda, Sideshow Christmas Yoda 60-go figure, riding it like a Santa's sleigh. Never should have sold that figure. Never should have sold that figure. Sideshow did a Christmas Yoda 10 years ago, probably. I don't know. It's been a long time. Like Yoda in a Santa hat with a bag of gifts. They could sling over his shoulder in a Santa coat. It was amazing. It's amazing, and I had a hard time when I sold it. Oh. So yes, to answer your question, we are unboxing. I feel like I really timed that real well with the music. I did, man. We are unboxing Echo, which I've already unboxed. Not this one, the one for the first look, which was the most fun that I've had unboxing a figure for Sideshow in a very, very long time. What opening this figure did for me is it cemented in my brain that yes, Hot Toys is very much taking seriously the Bad Batch series of figures. And was there a doubt in my mind? Yeah, because Hot Toys, I won't say that they're notorious for it, but in the past they have shown figures at Comic-Con, and then the figures didn't happen for whatever reason. It's usually scheduling. Also could have something to do with I don't know. They just made a decision that they wanted to send their money towards other things. And but even before we saw the Crosshair, and which, by the way, have you guys seen Crosshair? Because he turned out dope. I mean, look at that. For real. Seriously, it turned out great. Yeah, and that's one. There we go. Look at me busting out all the coolness. Learning how to use OBS. But yeah, look at all those accessories. Look at that portrait. I mean, come on. So even before we saw that, even before that was a thing, I got this in the mail and opened it up, and I was like, okay. And I knew, given the level of detail that we see on this figure and all the accessories and how on point that they are, how perfect they are, and this is legitimately, in my mind, a perfect figure. I knew that they were all in for the long haul. They were very, very, very happy with it, and yeah, I'm very, very pleased by this. What kind of donuts? Asks Toy Quest 101, either Miguel or Ileana. I just finished up a blueberry cake donut, which is, I think, my favorite kind of donut, and they just put them on the rack, so they were fresh out of the oven. They were still hot when I got them. I'm currently munching on a sour cream donut, which is also one of my favorites. Donuts, man. Gluten. One of these days, I'm gonna walk into a donut shop and just say, "Hey, can I just get a big box of gluten?" With a perfectly straight face. Anyway. Wow, Mike, your son likes 20s by Ghost? What's that style of music called again? It's it's not dubstep. I can't remember. A place called Project D does amazing donuts. Is that in Scotland? My sister's going to Scotland next week. She invited me to come, but I just didn't have the time. Or the money, for that matter. Too many 6-scales. Connor asks, Terry, do you collect any statues? I have pants on. Here. I do in fact collect statues, my friend. Can't see too many of them because the lights are all messed up in here right now. But yes, I do collect statues. I have a lot of statues. I have too many statues. I have twice as many as you see here. But I'm very heavily invested in X-Men, as well as and I've got the entire set of Guardians of the Galaxy BFs in +1. That, anyway, and And I've got a lot of loose, just Marvel stuff downstairs. I for a while there, I had all the Avengers Assemble line from Sideshow. I didn't buy Thanos and I didn't buy Captain Marvel because I moved and I just fell away from it. Oh, Lynn Kramer, man. Everybody's calling out my my tail. It's kind of a bun, but not really a bun. I don't know what this is that I've got going on in my hair. What do you call that? It's like ponytail meets bun. I'm not really good at tying buns. I'm not. I'm really not. Let's see. Excited to pick this morning to pick up the War Machine Mark 1. Good for you, dude. I don't know if I'm gonna get that one. The thing I'm finding out about myself is that when I'm working on a figure, like I'm amazed that I got this one, because if I get my hands on a figure for work and get a chance to play with it, then I'm significantly less likely to actually buy that figure for my own collection. So if I've done a video on a figure and I wind up buying it, then you can tell that I really liked it. Yeah, I'm still playing catch up with these comments. You guys are so prolific. It's impressive, actually. I'm gonna try to just bypass the ones where you guys are talking to each other. D0-OVER talked about, oh, you got to meet Peter Cullen. My name is Optimus Prime. I can do better than that. I don't know. Got sugar throat from the donuts. Oh, shit. Sometimes the comments do a jump, and when they do, I have to slide all the way back and find out where I was. Scott Heinemeyer's here. Hello, my friend. Yeah, good to see you there, dude. All right. God damn it, man! This huge. The comments really took a jump. I think that's YouTube saying, "Hurry this thing along, man. You got to get caught up." Actually, it's funny you should bring this up, Keith. I actually, after listening to the 1975 last night, I went on Amazon and ordered the vinyl of it. It's that good. Not necessarily because I don't even have a record player set up right now. My turntable's down in the basement in a box with the rest of my stereo. It's all vintage. Yeah, it's a vintage Techniques turntable with vintage 70s Marantz gear. And I think I'm just gonna sell it. I don't really have a place for it. It's like you said though, with all the available music services and everything like that, and I've got sweet Klipsch THX rated speakers here on my computer that really fill the whole house with great sound. It's a small house, I don't need to have the big stereo that I used to have back in the day. There's something good about downsizing and minimalism, so big fan of that. Thank you. That's awesome. Huh. I know this. I know I said I was going to ditch I was going to bypass the conversations you guys are having with each other, but yeah, I've got my eyes on a couch finally, so I'm going to be able to ditch this hand-me-down crap that I've got in the living room. It's going to be an awesome big sectional, so I'm going to be able to host a lot of people. And I'm thinking that I'm finally going to drag that EFX X-Wing out of the basement and put it on the coffee table or under the coffee table or something like that. Not sure. May actually sell it. It's worth a lot. Everybody's a big fan of the Donut Girl. I'm gonna tell her. She's gonna be like, "What? Live stream? What? I don't understand. What?" Oh, Donut Girl. Please don't think I was mocking you. That was just I was actually just doing an impression of my wife doing an impression of a dingbat person, but dingbat person. Maybe it was a senior discount. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Imagination. You're probably on point with that. Yeah, I think that might be the first time I've ever flipped anybody off on a live stream, on camera, or anything like that. Yeah. I'm really happy with myself. But that was a very good burn, bro. That was a very good burn. I'm so happy with you. Yeah, I agree. Definitely got to visit that donut shop. Man. I see that Thomas D, by the way, is watching the interview with the Vampire TV show. So thank you, Thomas, for pointing out that that's actually that is actually dropped, because I'm curious about it. Yeah. D0-OVER gets it. Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm going to be doing that kind of thing anyway, right? So, and you know, I have a pretty solid work ethic. I have a pretty solid work ethic, and so when I do something like when I get sick in the middle of a work day and I'm and my my productivity is diminished as a result, and I feel that. I feel like I'm letting the team down, so I just want to do whatever I can to get back on track. Brandy agrees. Yeah, that's funny how that worked out. I should pay more attention to this kind of thing. Yeah, Pierre. I'll prove that here in a second. As soon as I get caught up with the chats, and I'm moving through them pretty quickly. Yeah, John Galgano, Crosshair does look amazing. I'm just going to bring that up again for everybody to look at, just in case somebody just joined us. But yeah, Hot Toys just announced the Crosshair has gone up for sale. My pre-order is already locked, so I'm good there. It's not too early, by the way, for me to start thinking about what my next figure is going to be now that I'm unboxing Echo a couple weeks late. But I think that the last day of the month is the last Monday of the month. Let's find out. Just going to pull up a thing here while you guys are looking at it. Just go ahead, drool over Echo. Oh, the last Monday of the month is the 31st. Halloween is on a Monday. Well, that's kind of cool. Okay. So I gotta start thinking about what my next figure is gonna be. Actually, that's bullshit. I forgot. I actually know what I'm getting next. It is, in fact, the Boba Fett on Throne. So yeah, right there with you, TK. Right there with you, man. And I don't know that we're ever. I don't know that we're ever gonna get bays. I don't know what went south there, but if I had to guess, it would be tooling costs for that weapon, and they probably weighed the costs of the tooling with the subsequent price of the figure and how many people would be willing to pay for that figure, because that gun of his was ridiculously intricate, perhaps more so than Heavy Infantry Mando, which they're now calling Paz Vizsla. So that's just a guess. Again, I haven't heard anything. I don't know. Maybe Connor agrees that the portrait is amazing. I have to ask: is this Connor Pellegrini? Let me know, because I'm kind of curious if this is Connor Pellegrini. But because I think Connor, this might be your first time in the chats. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Yeah, dude. Next level. Yeah, I mean, seriously, my jaw just dropped when the photos went live, and I think I made a noise or two. I'm not even going to try to repeat them, because, yeah. The throne, dude, is actually back in the living room, and pretty soon it's going to go to the curb. The throne is falling apart. It's old. It used to be my uncle's, and I was always a big fan of it, especially after the Matrix came out, and Morpheus had that red leather chair with those studded, accents all the way throughout. So, yeah. Tara's about to drop a secret there talking about the statues. I really wasn't. No. I can't imagine what secret I would have been about to drop. Oh, I know what you mean. No, it's not really a secret. It's just, I'm not going to talk about it. It's not worth talking about. You are the devil on my shoulder. It's true. Yeah. You and many others. Oh, yeah, samurai hair loop. Okay. I'll take that. That's cool. I think those are typically worn further up top, but maybe I'm wrong. Okay, samurai hair loop. That's what I'm rocking. I'm rocking a samurai hair loop today. Yeah. Oh, top knot is significantly different. God damn it! It just did another freaking jump. There we go. Okay. Desmond would call it a top knot. I think a top knot is more highly up top, and I think it's actually tied up in a really different way. I remember looking it up thinking, is what I'm doing called a top knot? Because I thought the same thing, and when in my research, my Googling, proved it wrong. Ronin bun. Okay. I can do a Ronin bun. I don't want to say anything. And again, I'm doing this for kicks, not clicks. That will be a t-shirt someday. You just wait. Shred my beard and go for the Viking look, says Hugo Ramirez. I don't know what that means. Trim my beard? Maybe. I'm still trying to decide what this is going to be. I'm still trying to decide what this is going to be. What this live stream is going to be. I'm still trying to decide what this is going to be. It's going to be in my fucking belly. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, wouldn't that be something? Yeah. Donut Girl is a Sideshow fan. And recognized me. It wouldn't be the first time. Oddly enough, I've been recognized by multiple people at every single convention that I've gone to for the past 10 years. And it's fun. It's fun. It's a great deal of fun. I enjoy finding new people to talk. That's why I'm here. I enjoy finding new people to talk to my passions about. Talk to about my passions. I'm shared passions. And the funny thing is that the one exception to that rule, is the St. Louis Comic-Con that I went to this summer with Scott Heinemeier, where not a single person. I mean, I expected to at least bump into somebody that I knew. But even that didn't happen. I just loved the irony of that. I loved it. Yeah. I love the way that... See, one of my biggest pet peeves is people who spell boys B-O-I-S. It's a huge pet peeve of mine. But I think more, spelled like roar, yeah, that's cool. Oh, yeah, we've been through that. Cross Bannon. Oh, that's funny. Yeah. Yeah, I was just happy to have a clone with white hair. Yeah. Like, it would have been really, really cool to get a clone, a Wolfpack clone of, Jesus, what was that guy's name? The white-haired clone with the Wolfpack. Any Clone Wars fans out there like myself who have a better memory than I do? I am not a big fan of this song, so I'm going to skip it. I used it for a video and I want to get me thrown in with everything else. Oh, back to ELFL. This is called Blissful Morph. It's properly named. I love the way they name their songs. Yeah. Thank you, Desmond. Yeah, I think you're onto something. Saw Gerrera. Yeah, dude. I don't think Disney will let that happen. I have a theory. And my theory is that in the original cut, in the Edwards cut of Rogue One, that Saw was a lot more hardcore and probably did some really shady shit. And I think that Disney were none too pleased with that at the time, and that's why they forced the rewrite. That's why we got Bald Saw instead of Dreadlock Saw or whatever it was. Yeah. Yeah, I think that something went south there. I think that they were like, no, we can't have this. This isn't Star Wars. Of course, now we have Andor, which is just great. Adult Star Wars. I'll pay attention to that later. I don't find myself asking that question a lot, because having worked with creators before, if a decision was made, then they weighed that decision against the alternatives, and they had sound reasons for doing it. So I don't know what you're talking about yet. We'll find out in a few minutes when I finally start unboxing this thing that I said I was going to unbox at the beginning of the video. Daryl Smith Jr. Holy crap! Another Smith. I'm sorry to respond that way, but my grandpa's name was Dory Smith, and I short for Doris, D-O-R-I-C-E, which apparently was a very masculine name back in his days. And so when I saw your name, I was just like, yeah, it kind of went through me, you know. Miguel Andor Ileana, which I don't know what that is. I don't know. I'm more likes. Is that what we're talking about? More likes, peeps. A shirt with that on it, because that could be cool. But specify. I'm kind of curious. Hey, dude, Acid for the Blood's here. Why are you still awake? Go to bed, dude. It's late there. Yeah, I guess I could say the same thing about one or two other of my Aussie friends who are on here today. Yeah, always good to have a fellow xenophile in the house. I think we did some talking on the of the prequel series a week or two ago, dude, and you missed it. Would have been good to have you in the chats, but maybe we'll get another opportunity another time. CT1701, nicknamed Wildfire. Don't know what that means, but I like it. I think that's it. I'm all caught up. All right, so here's what I need to do. I need to plug this in. Drop that down. All right, let's see, do I have, I do have an image there. I'm just gonna look to make sure that there's no contraband. Nothing on the table that shouldn't be. Oh, trash. Sorry, didn't mean to get everybody excited. Let's just move that keyboard out of the way. Let's move this trackpad out of the way. Do we want my donuts in the shot? No? Not really? Okay. I could put the donuts in the shot just to make y'all jealous. But I ain't gonna. Wow. Not the best angle on that, so let's go ahead and lift that forward a little bit. Okay. Damn. Should move the monitor forward. Again, this is all shit that I should have been doing before I went live, and I apologize for that. But I'm kind of concerned that, again, this is an experiment, everybody, but I think this is as good as it's going to get because I cannot convince this camera to tilt its way up anymore, and nobody wants to look at my crotch anyway. I mean, if I'm wrong about that, y'all let me know, but I don't think that I am. So, here's my solution to that. I'm going to take a little hair tie and tuck it up there and see if that helps. Actually, I'm just gonna, just so I can keep everybody from having to experience motion sickness from my antics here, I'm just gonna, that's an improvement, that's not bad. All right, let's just open this thing. Oh. Yeah, Dob Bear says it. Making a shirt was referring to doing it for kicks, not clicks, and CT101 Wildfire was referring to the white-haired clone. Oh. Yeah, it wasn't, no, it's not Wildfire. Comet. Sinker. That's it. Yeah, the three named clones in the Clone Wars from Wolfpack are Comet, Sinker, and Boost. And I was really hoping that we'd get Sinker because he is at the time I had short white hair. Mr. Imagination is asking if that is a Tusken rifle. It is indeed a Tusken Cycler rifle from my Boba Fett 2-pack, and I broke the strap. And nothing I've been able to do has been able to make this thing work. I'm thinking about reaching out to Sideshow, but since it was actually me that broke it and it wasn't the fault of the product, I'm probably just gonna suffer with it. Oh. Acid for Blood wasn't it Commander Wolf? Yes, Commander Wolf had dark hair. But white hair was definitely, yeah, just Google Wolfpack Sinker, and I'm sure that an image of him without his helmet on will pop up. But he is in fact a white-haired clone. It made me really jealous. His front was probably fake. Those clones, man, they were posers. I said that like being a poser is a bad thing. What's wrong with me? Yeah, I don't know who Wildfire is, dude. That's a lot of the deep dive stuff. As much as I love the Clone Wars animated series, and I really dearly love it, I don't have a lot of knowledge of the lore, the legends stuff, the comic books. I actually have all the trade paperbacks, but I've not read them. They're just sitting on, I think they're in a box somewhere. Yeah. So anyway, where were we? was opening a box. Okay, you can see that. You can see here the Death Star. I'm just gonna scooch this shit back if I can. Yeah, all right. And I was wrong. I do not, in fact, want my donuts in the shot. It just looks trashy. So here we go. Wow. Yeah, dude. And the drums ended right when I said, "Here we go, Brandy." So that's definitely a thing. So here we go. We got this really cool insert, which we're always used to having now with Hot Toy stuff. So I'm just gonna go ahead and see if I can't get the camera to focus on that. And again, apologies. This is going to be like a sideways unboxing. So for those of you out there who like strain your neck trying to look at it properly, please don't sue me. I should have done what I do for the video unboxings and actually taken all this plastic stuff off. But let's just get a look at these accessories first. So I'm going to pop this off. These are the extra arms that come with the figure. And you can see that there's a grasping arm here of some sort. Look how bright that is. See how my hand is all washed out and everything there? That's why I didn't keep this camera as my main camera. But anyway, looking at this, you can see that there's a grasping arm here. Now this thing is really freaking cool. These are all really cool because they legit come apart. And then there's somewhere in here there's a cable. It's right there that you can attach to it and elongate it and make it actually moves around. It's like a cable, and it's a really stiff cable, and it actually holds this thing upright really well. So that's a cool feature to have, and pretty much all of these things like that extends. That's the battering ram arm. Can you just imagine, just like boom, you just got punched, man. It's like the jackhammer arm in on the Hulkbuster. There's his standard arm with, let's see, yeah, this does not have flexible digits. The collector's in the house. Hello, welcome, good to see you. And he's asking if this is in stock or pre-order still, chat. I think that it's in stock, dude. I would be very surprised. I'm gonna bring this back up. I would be very surprised if Sideshow sent me my figure if it were not actually in stock. I'm usually the last person. You all get your orders fulfilled before I do. They're very. That's an important thing for them to do. They just want to make sure that all the customers remain happy, and that, so you guys have priority. And I think that that's a smart decision, and I celebrate it. So, oh, yeah. Don't sweat it, guy. Or Mark. It's coming. Here we go. Oh my God, I'm disappearing. Oh my God. Hey. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, this is cool. You can swap this out. There are various other hands that come with the figure. I think I'm looking down here in the box. Looks like there's one more hand here that you can use with that. So that's cool. This guy's kind of neat, right? Not at all flexible. No articulation on this thing whatsoever, but it just looks cool. And I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, that that we never actually got to see some of these arms in action. Some of these arms I don't remember seeing at all. So correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't remember seeing this grasping arm, the one that I talked about that has the flexible cable that comes out of it. And that's, I don't know, maybe we're seeing like a behind the scenes thing that didn't make it onto the final, like maybe they based a lot of elements of this figure off of concept art. And I don't, to my knowledge, there is no art of the Bad Batch book, so I can't really check that theory. Anyway, so let's get back to this. I'm just gonna pop this stuff off. So it's one thing that I really hate is having the lighting from the plastic. The lighting that I'm using to light it up from above, just reflecting off that plastic, it just looks positively garish, and I'm not a big fan of that at all. I'm not a big fan of things that are garish. Make a note, in case you're like shopping for presents for me or something. Nobody buy Terry anything that's garish. Maybe so. Maybe so. I was having a conversation with somebody on my Facebook page yesterday about, and I can't remember what was brought up, but or how it was brought up. Oh, it's because I've shared the photos of Crosshair. And the dude was like, yeah, I'm not necessarily a big fan of the Bad Batch, but I think this is really cool. I'm like, yeah, it is. It's really, really freaking cool. And I agreed with him. Bad Batch so far is not getting me here. But in all fairness, Clone Wars and Rebels didn't get me here after the first season either. I found things to like about both of those. And it wasn't until subsequent seasons, especially towards the end, that the emotional effect that it was having on me was really dialed up. To the point that the last episode of, like so many other people out there, the last episode of Clone Wars with Ahsoka and Rex and Vader showing up at the end wrecked me. So good. Absolutely, I intend to complete the Bad Batch, bro. Absolutely. Try and stop me. Yeah, nothing short of forced poverty will prevent me from acquiring all the Bad Batch. In fact, I've expanded my goals a little bit when it comes to collecting. Obviously, I was very public with this on the show on Unsealed and Revealed the other day, but these bags are coming right off. Whoever did this, Hot Toys, give them a raise, man, because it's tight. It's really, really good. Tight. All right, so now that all the plastic's off, I'm going to go back to this. But anyway, yeah, before I do that, yeah, I'm going to commit. It wasn't until I saw them at Comic-Con as a whole that I was like, yeah, if they do this, it's all going there. And so that's on my radar now. So that's a commitment that I've made to myself to complete the Bad Batch collection. And I'm on the fence, teetering, if you will, on the fence, back and forth, trying to decide, do I want all of those Inquisitors? Because they look really, really, really cool. And I was a fan of the Inquisitors in Rebels. I was satisfied with their representation in Obi-Wan Kenobi. And I'm thrilled with the quality of the figures that we're seeing from Hot Toys. So yeah, I'm very much invested in the idea of all four of those together with Vader in the middle. And those 5 figures on display, I think, will definitely leave an impression. And what collector doesn't want to leave an impression? Seriously. Oh, no. And I'll tell you why. I do things with a sort of asymmetrical symmetry, if you will. I try to only display things in odd numbers. And we've already got 5 Bad Batch figures. So throwing a Rex figure into that would upset that balance. If something changes, I'm open to change. I'm open to change my mind about that if the story gives me a reason to. But right now, just having a couple of token appearances of Rex in the show isn't really enough to make me want to say, yeah, I want to put Rex in with my Bad Batch. Because there's plenty of other things to do with Rex. You get Rex with Ahsoka. You get Rex with other members of the 501st. You get Rex with Anakin. So there's plenty of things to do with Rex. There's no need to throw him into a 5-figure display and upset that balance that I like to create. TK421 is right there with me. Loving the Inquisitors. They are absolutely amazing, especially Reva. Thank you. There's so much negativity going down, especially directed towards female characters. Female. Here, I said that. Those of you watching She-Hulk will know what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna say it. I fucking hate it. It infuriates me. I just think I think 95% of it is unwarranted. Every so often somebody throws in a legitimate gripe. I'm just like, yeah, but it's so petty. But yeah, sorry. I just get mad. I get mad about it because it embarrasses me to be associated with toxic fanboys. Because people outside of the fandom who don't appreciate Star Wars, don't appreciate Marvel, don't understand it, what have you, they look at that. That's what they see. They see the ugly side of it, and then they find out that I'm part of that. I'm part of the scene, the geek culture scene, and that's what they've come to associate it with. And it's freaking embarrassing. It's just appalling, and I really, really want it to stop. I know it's not going to. And one thing that I'll wrap this up. I don't want to go off the rails on this any more than I already have, but I will say that one of the best things that I appreciated the most about She-Hulk was that legitimately all of the scripted comments from toxic fanboys in the show were perfectly echoing full circle, were perfectly echoing the actual comments that were happening in real time on the internet. They're so goddamn predictable that the screenwriters were able to predict everything that they were going to say about the show, incorporate it into the script, break that fourth wall, and smash them in the freaking face with their goddamned ineptitude, with their I don't know. Do I want to say it? Oh. Yeah. Yeah. No, I don't want to say it. I don't want to be too mean, but it's just if you're part of the scene, if you're watching this and you're part of the scene, you need to take a close look at yourself, because you're predictable. You're embarrassing yourself. You're embarrassing the community, and and seriously, I mean, if you have kids and they find out that you were doing this kind of shit, they're gonna be ashamed of you, man. I'm ashamed for you. Seriously, no room for that. No room for that. There's so many other things to worry about. And if these are your core beliefs, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you. Yeah. Anyway, sorry to go off the rails on that. Let's get back to fun stuff. Let's see, get this on. I think I've been wanting to say that for a long time. Let's see. All right, cool. Man, this camera angle is really, really messing with me, but here we go. We've got, there's your Echo figure. And this is just not a good camera for this kind of thing. I think I am going to go ahead and go that extra mile for the next unboxing that I do, and actually bring in the Z50 and put it on a stand above the table. It'll take a little bit more effort, but I think it's worth it if you guys really want to get that. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I'm just going to go and say this. Yeah, Desmond Hassing. Yeah, well put. Yeah, that is it. It's. I almost did it a grave service. I was almost too kind to it and almost called it performance art, but it's not art. It's just despicable. Yeah, and yeah, right there with you. I mean, so much fun, so much absolute fun, and I feel for these guys. I feel for these creators, because when it comes to commentary online, then they can't win for losing. So many before phase 4. Are we in phase 4 or 5? I'm so losing track. I think it's still phase 4. But before phase 4, there were so many comments regarding the predictability of plots and how everything's just the same. And now that they're doing things that are different, now that's when people are really starting to bring the hay. Yeah. Anyway. So anyway, yeah, here's Echo, and I'm just gonna, man, look at that. I'm just gonna bring him up and put him on the main camera, because there's just so much more detail that you get out of it. So look at that. Can you see why I was just smitten with it instantly? The detail in the weathering, and even this proprietary art. This is the only time we're going to see. Come on, focus, focus, camera, focus. This is the only time we're going to see this arm. This is made especially for this character, and it's the joints on it are stiff as hell. It will pose any way that you like, any way that the character would have posed. Yeah. D0-OVER says it too. Like, that helmet is badass. Yeah, it is, dude. And check this out. Okay. Well, I've got him up here. You can see here that there are elements of the helmet that remain on Echo's head when you take the helmet off, right? So, in order to affect that, in order to make that a thing that's doable, what you got, buddy? Nothing on my sleeve. That comes off. So when you're displaying him with this helmet in his hands or something like that, then you slide out the little Lobot muffs, and it's still consistent. You don't have that repetition. There's a word for that I'm looking for here. And I'm just gonna go ahead and put this head on him so that you can see him with his I think this is supposed to come off, but it's a challenge. This comes off when you put with the actual head on, but I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it on him. Yeah, no, I'm not. Yeah, I am. So you just have to imagine. Ooh, tight joints. I love tight joints. Robot muffs, right? Dog Bear's making fun of my robot muffs. But just look at that portrait. Gaunt, starved, whatever, you know, sickly Temuera Morrison. I mean, yeah. It's so good. And just check out the cloth elements on the kama. The pleather elements right here. I love the contrasting red piping throughout this. The design of the Bad Batch characters, I mean, seriously, for a military unit to have this good of a marketing department is really, really on point. I just love the little details on the little, like the Matrix plugs, for lack of a better term here, where he was jacked into that Imperial, or I'm sorry, that Separatist thing. That's the technical term. That Separatist thing. Well, yeah, check out this. I mean, this range of motion on this guy is incredible, given the inherent collisions of armored elements. And then, I mean, okay. Oh, magnets. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. What you gotta do. There's a trick to this, and I figured it out like halfway through shooting the video, and I had to go back and reshoot some stuff because when I first put this on, I was like, oh, they screwed up. Because that's not on there flush. Well, no, what you have to do is you have to take this, push this belt down, and then it goes on. And that's how it fits. So there's a little trick for you just to, you know, so you don't have the same stress factor that I did. I was really, really worried. I'm like, how do I not show that? Because I actually thought for a second that Hot Toys had made a mistake. Yeah, my bad. Silly of me. Yeah. Oh, God. All right. So here he is. No elements. There are no elements, extra elements on this backpack. What you see is what you get. I'm just going to show you this because it's also really cool. But we get a base topper element. I mean, you get. I'm not going to waste time taking the plastic off this, but this is the standard Hot Toys base that you're going to get with this figure if my camera ever chooses to focus, and I think that it's struggling with that glare. There we go. And of course, it says, come on, Echo right there on the front. So I dig those nameplates. They're really slick. And they're consistent, but let's check this art out. Come on. Yeah, look at that. And I'm sure that we can expect every single Bad Batch figure to have its own unique base topper, just like that. I mean, come on. Yeah. Oh, dude, I love this idea. I know that you're going for your doctorate right now. But or if you're not already done, I'm not sure exactly where you are with that. But what are you going to be a doctor of? I'm curious. Yeah. Oh, as if Blood is leaving, it's great to have you here, bro. All right, you have a good weekend, and until I catch you next time, man. It's good. Thanks for showing up. Focus. Yes, exactly. But getting back to Desmond, yeah, I would really embrace that, or embrace such an article. I think it would be really, really cool to see. So yeah, definitely. And just the fact that, well, let's face it. I mean, Temuera Morrison is, in fact, you know, indigenous himself, and so they've got an entire army of indigenous people, and it's really freaking awesome. So where am I with this? Oh yeah, I was going to show you arms. Ninja reflexes, all that ninja training actually finally came in handy in that exact moment when I caught that arm, or backpack, said arm, because I'm about to do this. Come on. Okay, I'm gonna fuck this up. There we go. I was gripping it by the wrong place. Grip it here. Butterfingers today. I'm blaming the sugar and the caffeine. You grip it down here. Don't do what I was just trying to do, which is to grip it by the joint. That thing stays. And then you're going to want to add to it. Do we have any suggestions for arms? Which arm should I use? Oh, theater and dance. Well, that's cool. Our conversation at Comic-Con never made it that far. Did we even have a conversation at Comic-Con? Yeah, we did. Sure we did. One bad thing about Comic-Con is that I never have enough time to talk to the people that I wanted to talk to. I can count on one hand the number of people that I got to spend quality time with in conversation. And most of those don't actually show up here. So maybe one or two. Okay, so I've spent so much time gushing about this grasping arm that I'm just going to go ahead and use that as my first demo arm. Slides right onto that keyhole, right? So now we've got Echo. This is so neat. This is so neat. I'm going to pop that off, just like that, see? And where's it? There it is. Oh shit. It dropped between the plastic clamshell and the box. Alright, let's go ahead and put that there. And you can just see what just happened there. Look at that. It's malleable. So I'm not even sure, I don't remember ever seeing this arm in use in the show. But you can do all kinds of things with this. I can actually have him holding it. You know, just bring it around and... I didn't drop that. How dare you? Yeah. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. I knew that you were one of the winners at the big unsealed and revealed contest that we had. But yeah, you can just have him like holding it, like he's working on it. Maybe, I don't know. But also these are articulated, which, not gonna lie, I didn't know when I shot the video, because the joints on them are so stiff, but it actually comes apart like that. Focus. Focus! Channeling you, Paul. Come on, there we go. Yeah, look at that. They are flexible. There is articulation in the little grasper arms things. And the downside of this is that I don't know where I'm going to display it, because there's really nothing to display it with. I'm just going to put him back in the box at this point. And I think that's probably it for the unboxing, other than to just show off this helmet once more. Come on. Waiting on you, Nikon. Thank you. Yeah. The unique designs of the Bad Batch helmets I really, really greatly appreciate. I really, really greatly appreciate. I mean, and I know a lot of people have said that the Echo helmet is their favorite, and I'm happy for them. I think it's really awesome. But Crosshair's helmet might be my favorite, and that's subjective. Everybody gets to have a favorite. That's the rules. That's getting back, not to bring the conversation back to She-Hulk, but I'm going to anyway. You're allowed for She-Hulk not to be your favorite. I know that Miguel chimed in a little bit at some point and was just like, yeah, I didn't really enjoy it. That's right, you don't have to. You don't have to. Very few people, I would imagine, myself being one of them, are able to find joy in pretty much everything that they experience. It legitimately becomes a task. It's an active viewer sort of experience. It's there are two ways that I like to watch things. I like to watch them once to just let them wash over me and get that visceral emotional experience, and then later on down the line, if something tickles my brain about it, then I'll go back and I'll just detach myself from it and just take the time to appreciate the artistry and the craftsmanship that went into constructing it as a work, as a completed body of work. And that's something that you can only really effectively do if you take the time to actually study the craft. And I've only taken a class or two on filmmaking when I was still studying photography, and so I'm far from being an expert in film craft, but I've got some knowledge of it. In fact, people who I know who are filmmakers have actually slapped me down in conversations online, like, I'm sorry, man, but you don't get to have an opinion on this, which I was just like, whatever. But oh, where's my other glasses? But you know, whatever. Knowledge exists on a sliding scale, and I'm comfortable with not being the smartest guy in the room. Yeah, Dobber's right there with me. Anyway, so I'm just gonna check something here really quick because not too bad. Yeah, not too bad at all. Yeah, I did notice that historically, and it looks like it's happened here again too. Yeah, that would be about the time. Anytime that I do an unboxing here, I hemorrhage viewers. I do. It's like I'm looking at it right now, and it looks like right when I started unboxing, 5 viewers just jumped ship, and a few others have jumped ship as it progressed. And or maybe that was. It seems like they were peaking when I was going on my rant about She-Hulk. So that's interesting. That's interesting. Yeah. Anyway, my getaway from work has always been movies and TV. Yeah, dude. Yeah, I think my big movie watching peak would have been the 90s. After I got my first surround system. I was in an apartment at the time, and it annoyed my neighbors all to hell, mostly because I put it in my bedroom, which was right through the walls from where they themselves were sleeping. So I can imagine being an adult now and more mature and more, what's the word I'm looking for here? The word I'm looking for here is empathic. I have more empathy now than I did then, I think. Yeah. Oh, Keith is still here. Hey, dude. I hadn't heard from you in a while. Just go get him donuts, bro. Just go get... Look at this. Red velvet cake donut. Oh, my God. I'm going to slip into a diabetic coma here. Just kidding. I don't have diabetes, although I have many friends who do. See, there's a lot of people out there who aren't fans of the Bad Batch, and that's cool. But I think that much like those who originally weren't fans of the Clone Wars or Rebels, I think that they're going to come to regret that, because if there's been any consistency with Star Wars animated shows, it's that they've only gotten better. In fact, I remember reading somewhere recently that I remember reading somewhere recently that the annoyance that was between Ahsoka Tano was intentional. That Dave Filoni and team legitimately wanted to make her annoying. They wanted her to be annoyed, the fans to be annoyed by her, because they knew what was coming. They knew what her evolution was going to be. They knew that. They wanted her to be annoying because they knew that she was going to be actively making all kinds of mistakes. Like that time that she's like, no, I'm not returning to base. My team and I are going to go ahead and move forward with this attack. My squadron and I are going to move forward with this attack. And then she winds up getting her entire squadron wiped out. She needed to have those experiences to mature as both a Jedi and a human being, Togruta, as a person. And what a brilliant way to craft that story. Make her annoying, make people hate her, and then teach them to love her. There's something there to that, right? Right? To just the need to just learn to give people the opportunity to grow, embrace them for their mistakes, embrace them in spite of their mistakes, maybe if that's your way, and then just find what there is to love about them. Let them grow into their own and let them become the person that they can be. Don't just dismiss them and just cast them aside, because then you rob yourself of that experience of knowing them when they do finally come around. I get that, and it really hits me right here. That's why Clone Wars at the beginning didn't hit me as hard as it did towards the end. Same with Rebels, and I'm predicting that I'm going to have that same experience with the Bad Batch. At the very least, we're going to see an awesome relationship between Omega and Hera Syndulla. I think that friendship is not done. We'll see Hera back. And I think that we can fully expect, because they cast an actor in the role of Omega who's much older than what what is she in that show? 10, 11-ish, you figure? I don't know. But because they cast her and cast an older woman in that role, you can expect time jumps, I predict. I think that at some point we're actually going to see her as more of a adolescent than a young adult, and maybe even on into adulthood. I don't know. But I would really like to see that. And with the upcoming Ahsoka Tano show, given the friendship of Harrison Dula and Omega, and the time jump between the Bad Batch TV show and Ahsoka Tano, maybe, just maybe, we'll actually see Omega make an appearance there as an adult. Maybe. No one's told me anything. I'm not letting anything slip here. So if you're watching Disney or Sideshow. Okay, anyway, where are we at? Another rant gone. I can safely say I've long since left those ideas and thoughts and fell in love with things I love again, and I enjoy it all again. That's the spirit! That's what we like on this channel. That's it. New armor. I know, man. I'm like, come on. But I get it. And you know, when they do that, they're not thinking about Hot Toys. They're thinking about Hasbro. They're thinking about the more affordable action figures, and that's the ones that we'll definitely see in rapid circulation, rapid turnaround, because they don't take nearly as much time to develop. I don't predict that we'll see a season 2 Bad Batch. I think that this will be a one and done, depending on how enormous the popularity is of the show as it progresses. But we're gonna see. Am I gonna display it with or without the helmet? Yes. Ha! Thank you, man. I love any opportunity to answer a question like that in the way that I just did. So, yeah. I don't know, dude. Because that portrait is on point, but I really, really love all the helmets. And not many people have seen my collection, but I can honestly say that the number of people wearing helmets, characters wearing helmets in my collection, far, far outweighs the number of people who are not. I'll do a count for you right now. I've got unhelmeted Boba Fett over there with the deluxe pack. I've got, just because his head sculpt is so cool, I've got Commander Cody unhelmeted with his helmet at his feet in case I ever decide I want to swap it out. That's it. Oh, Rey and Kylo Ren are down there. Episode 9, Rey and Kylo Ren, because I dearly love both those figures. Actually, I probably just have them just because I like D0. And then in there, yeah, just one, and that's Moff Gideon. So yeah, that's all the unhelmeted figures that I have currently, apart from poor Echo resting unceremoniously in his box right now, with his grasper arm wobbling around like a limp fish. Y'all thought I was gonna say something else, didn't you? Ooh, donut talk. I love donut talk. This will be the last time I have donuts for months. That donut girl is never gonna see me again. Tell me so much I didn't like. Yeah. Filoni's team's work, and I don't even know how much Filoni's involved with the Bad Batch. I feel like the main show, well, he has maximum creative control because he's like number 2 or 3 or 4 at Lucasfilm right now. But I feel like somebody else really has the primary responsibility. They're answerable to Filoni, obviously, but I feel like he's released that, and he's more in like a George Lucas kind of role from when he was doing episodes 5 and 6. That's just kind of what it feels like to me. He's focusing a lot on the live action stuff, and rightly so. Ahsoka's his baby, almost literally, just as much as David is the baby of Wayland, and the Acid for Blood is gone now because of it. I'm sure he would have appreciated that. Yeah, I wanted to come back to this comment, Mike, because I saw you make it earlier, and I wanted to make sure that I touched on it. Dude, the number of comments that I'm getting here is off the charts. Yeah, I'm trying to decide how that's going to happen. I think it's a foregone conclusion. It has to happen. Or does it? I mean, they could very well just be like, yeah, acknowledge that Boba Fett is that he exists and that he's But I think you're right. I think that it's going to be in the animated series. Where is he? He's still a bad guy at that point, or morally ambiguous at the very least. So, and is he still young? This is right after Order 66, so he's still a kid. Basically, young adult at the very latest. Depending on how far of a time jump we're going to get between seasons here, especially. So he's going to be very, very young. And he's not going to... I wonder if he's going to be having the armor yet. Do you think he'll be having the armor? I mean, he's obviously got the armor. Yeah, Brandy, I'm going to just... Thanks, Keith. Thank you very much. But I really wanted to touch on this. I actually just went into my chart, and I was actually 5 pounds lighter at my last weigh-in at my doctor than I thought I was, so I actually only lost 15 pounds. I'm comfortable with that, considering I didn't put any effort into it. In fact, I continued eating a lot of cheeseburgers and drinking a lot of whiskey. Not like a lot of whiskey. Okay, it was a lot. And I still managed to lose 10 pounds just by proper dieting for the rest of my... I eat pretty well. By that I mean I eat pretty smart. And the reason is because I like to indulge every so often. I love exploring the cheeseburger scene here. The taco diet is real, brother. All right, Keith Lee, way to call me out of my shit. God, I forgot to bring the microphone back down here. You guys have probably been struggling to hear me for the past however long, ever since the unboxing started at the top of the hour. Oh man, that's funny. Yeah, I'm not going to be that guy, dude. Yeah. In fact, I'm not even going to finish these. I didn't even get to identify my final donut. This was my free donut. It was a French cruller, which was actually my estranged wife's donut of choice. Every time I would go across the street, when at our house in Ventura, there's a great donut shop right across the street. And every time I'd go there, I'd be like, "You want anything? Give me a French cruller." And I think it's because they're basically air. And she was trying to watch her girlish figure. Like, look at that. Look at all the air holes in these things, man. It's insane. It's like a crepe. Tasty, though. I can see why she likes them. Anyway. Trying to think of what else I wanted to talk about, and I think that's just about it. Covered Skid Row. Covered the 1975. Unboxed Echo. Am I forgetting anything? Oh, dude, really? Yeah, I went to a guy's house with some friends, a mutual friend's house, about a year ago. It was pretty cool out. We had a fire burner in the backyard, and we sat out there for a time. And he had one of those, and he was making us burgers on them, and they were great. I was really, really jealous. So I think I need to introduce one of those into my life. Oh, Mike Games, that's right, bringing the heat to Werewolf by Night. Yeah. Completely forgot. So everybody's had a chance to watch Werewolf by Night, right? Because we're going to talk about it now. Yes, we are. Here it comes. Brace yourselves. Yeah. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Am I missing a reference? I hate it when I miss references, man. I feel like I need to turn in my geek card. I am so dehydrated and I can see it in my eyes. I can when I look like this, I feel like I look drunk. Actually, these glasses are like Coke bottles, man. It's crazy how thick these are. And just doing this, like in They Live, only instead of things becoming monsters or aliens, they become bigger. Like everything gets compressed by these. It's like having a zoom lens on my eyes, and I don't like it. These are meant to be only for. Oh, that's what she said. Got it. Nice, Keith. Yeah. So I don't get to turn in my geek card. I get to turn in my man card. I don't know. I'm fine with that. In a world of toxic fandom, I don't even want to be fucking included. Anyway. Oh, dude, you got the inside thing happening there, man. Wow. Yeah, my uncle used to work for a butcher, and it shows when he cooks. I'm almost out of coffee. Should that be the rule since I didn't wash my hair today? It's usually when the hair is dry, the stream must die. So the new one is when the coffee's gone, we say so long. I can do this all day. I can do this all day. Anyway, so Werewolf by Night. I didn't get the chance to watch it again, so I'm really not prepared to talk about it. So feel free to talk amongst yourselves. Okay, yeah, we can say that though, because that's. I was like, no, because as I mentioned last week, I divorced myself. And my wife's like, I sympathize. But I divorced myself from watching trailers, including myself in. As soon as I knew that was going to be a thing, I'm like, I'm going to love that regardless, so I don't need to see any previews. I just want to experience, again, let it all wash over me. And I did, but I kept falling asleep because I was really, really, really tired. I'd had almost no sleep the night before, and I'd had a long day shooting a video that had to be done right now. But I was there. I was wide awake when the Man Thing popped on, and that jolted me right back awake for a time. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to taking an hour and sitting back and watching this all over again for all of its glory, for all the, just in honor of all the hours spent with my old man and my mom watching the Universal horror shows on Channel 11 and Channel 30 when I was growing up. Those of you from St. Louis, Keith, yeah, just Keith, may know what channels those are. I don't know. How long have you been here, Keith? You've been here a while, so you probably know the old school St. Louis TV channels, 2, 4, 5, 11, and 30. Sometimes 13. Yeah. Keith wasn't a fan of the werewolf itself. I'm seeing a lot of comments about that, but I'm cool with it. Yeah. Yeah, I think, 20 years, so yeah, you've got some knowledge of it. But Holly West is saying it best as a counterpoint to Keith's comment about the look of the werewolf. I think it's cool. I liked it. The cheese factor. I mean, back in the old glory days of Hollywood, they hadn't perfected makeup to the level that they have these days. There was no Greg Nicotero. There was no Jim Henson. There was no who's the big guy with the ponytail? Dead. Jesus. Yeah, take away my geek card. Oh, yeah, ever since the Ant-Man trailer, I've tried so hard not to see anything before a movie or show. Which Ant-Man are you talking about, Dob? Because, you're okay, I see. Yeah, you're right. That would have been if I hadn't seen that coming, that would have been a lot more funny. Yeah. Yeah. In fact, maybe I should just make that a standard practice, because it was very, very effective for me not to watch the trailers for Werewolf by Night. And if that translates into other things like Star Wars stuff, other Marvel things, then why the hell not? I know that I'm gonna find something to appreciate, and it's not like I don't go into watching a Marvel trailer or a Star Wars trailer like, well, I need to decide if I'm gonna watch this, because I'm going to, regardless. The trailer could make it look like the worst rubbish show imaginable, and I'm still gonna tune into it and find something to appreciate about it. That will never happen. That will legitimately never happen. You will never see a trailer that's going to make a Marvel or a Star Wars TV show, film, anything look bad. And I can say this with utter confidence. Yes, that's it. And by the way, did you guys see who directed that? It was Michael Giacchino. Yeah. Composer. Michael Giacchino, the guy who wrote the freaking soundtrack for Rogue One, for instance, and so many other great things that are out there, was the director and composer for Werewolf by Night. That's something that I remember from watching it the first time. I was like, get out! Get out, man! Double threat. Double threat. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have superhero fatigue. I think after, not to make it about me, but I don't, after, I've been reading comic books, started reading comic books in 1982 on a regular basis. And if I haven't gotten superhero fatigue in 40 years, then I'm not going to get it anytime soon. I don't empathize with people who get superhero fatigue. But I have no trouble believing that it exists, because while I was growing up and reading comic books in junior high and high school, I had to contend with all those people out there who didn't get it. Reading comic books? That shit's for kids. What are you doing? Yeah, and those people are still out there, and a lot of them are actually watching these Marvel superhero shows and thinking, "Wow, this is amazing." And I'm like, "See, told you." And you know, suddenly Star Wars is real to you. Yeah, it's yeah. Expand on the repertoire. There's such a rich, diverse collection of comic book storytelling that's happened in the history of comic books that I find it hard to believe that you can't find something new and exciting to draw from, and they did it with this. You're so right. You're so right. The pre-code horror stuff alone is enough to just develop almost a whole new genre of comic book films. Of course, I guess they kind of did that though with Tales from the Crypt, right? Yeah. I mean, they had a whole TV series like. And back in the day when a season was 20 plus episodes long, they did that for how many seasons for Tales of the Crypt? Which I have to admit I didn't watch very often. Only every so often. It's because back in the days of network television being the only outlet, sometimes my plans, especially in the 90s when Tales from the Crypt was a thing, my evening plans or whatever would interfere with my ability to watch, and I wasn't really good about recording stuff. So I missed out on a lot of cool stuff. I missed out on most of the X-Files, for instance. It's another good one. Yeah, it's, yeah. Uh-oh, big jump. Oh, that's it. The balance is restored. Oh, see? I love that. I love that, Holly. Oh, that's so cool. Yeah, because, I mean, all these people saying, yeah, that's taking me right. She-Hulk's taking me away from Marvel. I'm okay. Bye. I'll be right here if you want to come back. Oh, yeah, that's right. Oh, I never got a chance to meet her. Maybe I still will. She's been to Sideshow a few times, and I've never been there when she's been there, so that's too bad. John Galgano is here. Hey, John. I didn't even know you were here until just now. Oh, and just in time to say bye. Okay, be that way. Fine. That happened when I went to a party the other day. One of the women that was there that I wanted to talk to, I showed up and she was like, "Okay, I'm leaving now." Oh, did he score the Batman? That's cool. I didn't realize that. That was a good score. And I still need to watch that again. I've only watched it once. Dude, I can't believe that I lucked out into being alive right now with all this. I frequently think of that. That existential, just existential thing, like, wow, how the hell did that happen? How the hell did that happen? And I'm sure that there have been people who, my mom was lucky enough to be alive when the Beatles were first, because she got to have that experience, for instance. So in any era, any generation, you're going to have probably people who are just like, oh my God, I can't believe that I get to be alive in Paris in the 1920s when Hemingway was there. And, oh God, that whole... What is it? Midnight in Paris, the Woody Allen film? By the way, full disclosure, I'm a big proponent of putting the art over the artist. The whole cancel culture thing, I think is necessary in certain regards, but I'm not going to stop watching Woody Allen's films because he's a sick prick. Aaron S is here. Hey. Echo's good, dude. I love him. I love him. This is the second time an Echo figure has been in my house. I did the first look video for Sideshow and knew, as I said earlier, I knew right then and there that this was going to be a figure to own, and I also knew right then and there that they were all in on the Bad Batch. That I had the utmost confidence that they were going to continue the line, because if they were going to put this much detail into something that they didn't have faith in it continuing, well, I don't know. Hot Toys really does have a great work ethic, and maybe they would do that even if they knew it wasn't going to be a thing. I know Sideshow did. Sideshow knew that they were going to cancel. The Sideshow team knew that they were going to be canceling the line of clone figures, and the last few clone figures they did were just the best that they ever did. They didn't fall asleep at the wheel. They didn't phone it in. They really brought it to the table, and that's why the only 3 Sideshow clone troopers that I have on display right now are among that last batch. There's Commander Wolf, and I've got 2 Wolfpack clones up there. Also, there was there was Echo and Fives, the ARC troopers. They were really, really proud of those. Even though they weren't big fans of clones in general, of prequels and of Clone Wars, they were really professionals, and they really brought everything to bear on that. Dealt with that all the way through high school and at home. You get it. Yep. Yep. It's not freaking for kids, it's art. If it was just for kids, then you wouldn't have full-grown adults out there making it with the level of professionalism and with the level of storytelling that we've come to expect from shows like Batman or Gargoyles, which, by the way, I've never seen. I've only seen the first episode of it, and that was very recently. I need to correct that. Oh, there we go. Man. Oh, the animated corpse thing was a Crypt Keeper callback. Yeah, I remember thinking that. It was so cool. I remember thinking that, and then I completely forgot about it until you brought it back up again. So thanks, Holly, for pointing that out. That's yeah, that's gonna drag me back into watching it. Maybe I'll go. I've got a party to go to tonight. My friend Ann is turning 50. Whoa! My dad had this. Dad was kind of a, I don't know. He didn't get it, but he had this thing like every time somebody would turn like 50 or 40 or 30, he'd be like, nobody's 40, nobody's 50. Dad was like 60 at the time, and he's just saying that stuff. But But anyway, the party is going to be 70s themed, and I don't have anything 70s. Yeah, I guess I could go with a lightsaber on my belt. I'm going to do that. I'm going to totally hang a lightsaber from my belt. What? This is 70s. What? Look, I'm a Jedi. Right? Yeah. Yeah. This lightsaber specifically. Have I shown this off on here? I know I've showed it off on... Yeah. This is legit. This is the actual Graflex flash bulb hilt sort of thing. Yeah, the stuff that they used to make Luke Skywalker's lightsaber in A New Hope. And it's like a combination of stuff that they used on the hilt from New Hope and from Empire Strikes Back. Like I did this. This is from Empire, but and this is Empire, right? Or have I got it backwards? Anyway, and it's wrong. This part right here is backwards. I fucked it up when I was building it, but this needs to be flipped. But to do that, I would have to saw these things down, because once you get these T-tracks on and glued on and locked into place, and then it's done. It's done. Without taking apart the whole thing and re-gluing it, then you're screwed. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll take this guy and just hang it from my belt. I actually have Han Solo's belt from A New Hope, so maybe I'll just put that on and go that. That's my 70s thing. Although the belt is from... I think the belt is from Empire, and that was 1980. Whatever, they'll never know. There needs to be like a... like those of us with, things like, ADHD, we're neurodiverse. That's the term for it. And people who don't have head issues, they're called neurotypicals. So there needs to be like a phrase for those of us who are into geek culture, and a borderline disparaging name for those who aren't. Not an unkind one, but just like a gentle poke of fun. We need to come up, the culture just needs that phrase. Like, oh, you're one of them. Right? Oh God, that needs to be like a whole thing. Like, I need everybody's ideas. What are we gonna do with this? Hey, look who's here, everyone. Hey, Paul. What's up, dude? You missed out. I think you missed out. Yeah, I already unboxed him, but that's okay. You can go watch it in a rerun. Yeah. Anyway, good to have you here, man. Don't tease me with those clones. Yeah, dude. I think I broke out. Yeah, I'm not going to do it again. I broke out a Wolfpack clone trooper for you guys last week, and I'm not going to do it again. I've redone my desk, though. In the interest of just self-improvement, I've actually begun to do this thing every morning, because I was just waking up and I was kind of like flailing around and thinking, okay, what am I going to do today? I've got this to do. I've got to do this for Sideshow, blah, 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 blah. And I just was having a hard time getting my day started. Well, now what I do is I get up, I take my dogs outside, I start their fish going, because my dogs get tilapia every freaking day. And because, yeah, I'm looking at you, you're spoiled. So worth it. So worth it. But, and while that's happening, while I'm prepping the tilapia, I just focus on one project just for the house or for me. And one of the things that I did, I found my kitchen had been a mess for weeks. I mean, I just did an overhaul of that over the course of like 2 mornings. And the goal is to just keep it like that. I mean, so I think what I'm describing is what most normal people do, and they call it adulting, but I wasn't doing it very well since I moved back here. Same thing with this desk. This desk was just a cluttered mess, and now it's just like a paragon of organization. Loving it. Working on the living room right now. Finally got my Mando display up over the TV in the living room. So it's like I have about a dozen, I think, Mandalorian 6 scale figures up there, including a speeder bike and scout trooper. Yeah. Oh. Everything. It's been a good stream. I'm really happy with this stream. That's why we're still here an hour and 45 minutes after it began. So yeah, that's cool. Oh, something else I wanted to point out. I just mentioned it briefly on Unsealed the other day. Did you guys notice in Andor that now, thanks to Andor, this configuration of the E11 is now canon? Right? I mean, we always knew, yes, that's right, there's a strap up here holding together a piece of this gun because I broke it. But we always knew that the British Sterling submachine gun was capable of bringing this bit back and having a folding stock. I think it's the first example of a folding stock that I'm aware of in any sort of arms, but any sort of firearm. But yeah, they actually legitimately, I haven't seen an E11 that's not been in this configuration for the entirety of the show, I think. Maybe one at the hip of a stormtrooper as he's walking through Coruscant or something. But for the most part, this is how you're seeing the E11s in that show, and I'm so excited about that. It's very, very cool. Yeah. Paulie's here. He's in the 501st. I'm sure that we're going to see a lot of that moving forward in the 501st. People are actually going to start doing this. And I don't know, Paulie, maybe you can tell all of us, but there's, I think a lot of those guns that they use for trooping, do they actually feature the folding stock, or is it locked into place as part of the mold? I honestly don't know because I've never had my hands on any of them. It is not, in fact, resin. It's airsoft. Pew pew, right? I took the orange cap off. So yeah, this is legitimately like a battery, and everything just kind of, yeah. And then you do this, and that has a latch right there, and it goes right into the little notch, and boom. And you'll notice that the scope is not in the proper place. It needs to be up about 3 more inches, and I'm working on that. When I got it, it was bent right here. The rail is not quite in place. So I got a lot of work to do on this thing. It's a project. Yeah. Anyway, so that's my E11. I'm just showing off my props. I don't know if you caught it, Paulie, but I was showing off my my Graflex saber that I built back in the day. Put this together while I was at Sideshow. Yeah, in my downtime. Took weeks. Okay, here's the answer. Yeah, it all depends on the maker of the blaster. Some have the stock molded into place. Others can have the stock extended. Hey, cool. All right. Blaster Factory. I'm going to have to look them up. I would love to get into trooping at some point in my life. It's always been on the back burner. Thanks. Thanks. Paul is, complimenting my Graflex. Oh, Kumar's here. Hey, Kumar. Welcome. Yeah, you're a little late, dude. This stream's got about 12 minutes left in it. Maybe. I don't know. Time gets away from me, and I'm totally fine with that. You know what you did miss, Polly? You missed donuts. Yeah. And coffee. You probably didn't miss coffee. You got coffee, right? You drink coffee. I've had so much coffee this morning. I haven't had water yet. And I drank 3 pumpkin ales last night, so I'm sure that I'm dehydrated. More pumpkin ales this evening. Big party to go to. Anyway, so I think it's time to start winding it down. We covered Skid Row. Something I never thought I'd say in a live stream. We covered the 1975, so the music angle is done. I think I talked last week about how I got to see Megadeth finally, so check that off the bucket list. My next task is to get this harness back on my IG-11 today, so I'm going to do that at some point. And to take Grogu off my IG-11 and put him back on the speeder bike with the Scout Trooper. Just make that the way that it was meant to be displayed. But there is no way that 6 scale figures are meant to be displayed. As I've said before, it's only your imagination that limits you, or doesn't limit you, depending on who you are. Tunes are really on point today. I don't think I got anything else new this week. I got an offer on an art print. That sweater that I was wearing for the first stream. By the way, everybody who's just tuning in, there's a new rule. Every time Terry has to restart a live stream, he has to take off an article of clothing. And he has to start talking about himself in the third person. New rules. But anyway, the sweater that I was wearing, I just got it this week, and it's made of, the wool on it, I've talked to Brandy Woods about this, the wool on it is made of a combination of recycled plastic bottles and upcycled oyster shells. The shit they're making clothes from these days, man, it's incredible. It's incredible. Very excited about that. Anyway, so I think it's time to start winding down. It's about 10 till. Sorry for all of you who are late to the party. I know that it's a tough ask to start a live stream as early as I start my live streams. But I do have some work to do, and the farmers market closes in an hour and 10 minutes. I don't know. So one thing about doing this live stream when I do it is that I miss out on the farmers market at Tower Grove, which is 20 minutes away, and has a lot of really cool stuff. Everything from tomatoes to whiskey. You know, it's yeah. So yeah, let's go ahead and wind this thing down. I'm just gonna look really quick at photos. Oh, I was gonna show you guys one thing and I completely forgot. Yeah, let me pull that up here really quick. I mentioned a few weeks ago the best photobomb of all time that happened in what do you call it, in Star Wars Celebration Anaheim several years ago, 2017 I believe. No, it would have been no, it was 2017. It was Celebration Orlando, and Sam Witwer showed up at the sideshow booth after the con closed to pick up something that a gift he was being given. And I was just like, yeah, man, I'll fetch that thing for you for backstage, but first I want a selfie. And I gave my camera to this guy named Ben, and I was like, hey man, take a picture of us. He's like, I'm not a photographer. I'm like, you don't have to be. Just press play. Just press the shutter button and go. And he held it up and he just did that, and then walked away. Him handed me the camera and then walked away. He had no interest in helping with that at all. And then this came up. Now, working the sideshow booth was a guy named Jeff Dean, who was a buddy of mine. He used to give me rides to sideshow. I only had a motorcycle there, and if it was raining, he'd pick me up and give me a ride to sideshow every day. But here it is, the greatest photobomb of all time. Brace yourselves. Here it comes. I mean, they could not have done that better if they'd collaborated on it, and they had no time to collaborate on it. It was just straight from the gut. Oh my god, I'm so impressed with that. I mean, come on. Anyway, I'm gonna leave you with that. I hope you guys have an excellent weekend, man. Next week, let's talk about that Rings of Power season finale, and because, dude, seriously, jaw-dropping reveal on that. And I figured it out. I had a conversation with Brandy Woods about this. We figured it out at the exact same moment, from thousands of miles away. And yeah, it's really, really good, guys. I mean, seriously, slow burn. I really appreciate a good slow burn, and it really, really delivers. The show, I don't know if it's worth $1 billion, but I'm glad that they made it. And if that's what it took in order to make it, then yeah, definitely watch this show if you haven't yet, if you're a Lord of the Rings fan. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. It's been a pleasure, as always, spending a couple of hours with you talking about geeky nonsense. Thank you so much also for not putting me in a tight spot by asking me questions about Sideshow that we know that I can't answer. I really, really appreciate you guys for doing that. You're good friends, and I hope we all get to meet at some point. I would love to show up. I know the Polly's having a big bash in Toronto. I said that right? And yeah, man, it's I wish I could be there, but I didn't renew my passport in time. But if you do it next year, count on it. I will show up. I will help you support that great cause that you're supporting with that gathering, and it's very inspirational. And tempted to do one myself, but I don't think I can get many people to come visit St. Louis. So anyway, You guys have a great weekend. Have a great week. And as always, until next time, be good to your plastic. Oh, that's right. I got hit in twice. Bye.